The following video is a video that I've introduced on one of my previous online programs, and that's the whole idea of not only establishing a good morning routine, but doing something that I call in-flight checks and pre-flight checks. You'll discover all about that in a second, but I hope you enjoy this video. This is a video that hopefully will set your mind on the right path to how you achieve a good day of flow, of rational thought, of high energy. I hope you enjoy it. Do message us, do comment below if you have any thoughts, any ideas, wisdom, or if you simply want to say thank you. Enjoy. Okay, let's talk about intention, and also something that I like to describe as pre-flight checks and in-flight checks. Intention is key. How you start the day, you probably know this already, but if you start the day properly, with the right routine, you can get a lot more done in the day. If you have a bad morning, it's a lot harder to get the stuff that you want done later on in the day. And that's regardless of whether you're a night owl or not. I'm a morning person. I like to wake up at 4:30, 5 in the morning, predominantly. Not all the time, but predominantly. And when I do that, I roll out of bed, I sit with my legs off the bed, I feel any thoughts that appear, both negative and positive. We're going to come to that in another video. And then I roll onto the floor and I practice some movement flow, Tibetan rites, breath work, and whilst I'm doing all of that, I establish my intention. And that's what I want you to consider right now, and I'd like you to try this tomorrow morning. Before you do anything else, and I hope by now you're thinking routine is important. That morning routine is really important. And during that morning routine, you can set your intention for the day. And the intention can be really simple. I intend to flow through the day, making use of these practices that I know are going to aid my physiological and, more importantly right now, psychological health. So when you make that intention, you're saying to your brain, I'm not going to follow the old path. I'm not going to follow the old routine. I'm not going to allow those predetermined triggers to affect me. What I am going to do is choose to flow through the day, making use of these practices. So intention, that's the first thing, really, really important. What I want you to consider now is something that I call pre-flight and in-flight checks. If you imagine that your body is the aeroplane, you are the pilot. You intend in the morning to set flight, and you want to take you and your passengers to the destination. The destination for you is the end of the day. You want to do that in an efficient fashion. You don't want to burn up all your fuel, and you want to be able to have a good flight all the way there. You want to have happy passengers. You want to reach your destination. Everybody get off the plane and say, great flight, thanks very much. I can now move on to where I'm going to. For you, that would be to your sleep. So consider this. Before a pilot takes off, he or she will run in-flight or pre-flight checks. So I imagine kind of almost an aeroplane from the 70s. I'm sure they're not like this. So I imagine a control panel in front of me, flicking switches. And every one of those switches is you doing one of these practices that will enhance your physiological and psychological health. So let's say you've done a bit of breath work. There you go. That's switch number 1. You've done a bit of movement flow, switch number 2. You've set your intention, switch number 3. You've thought about people that you want to interact with positively, switch number 4. And you've therefore established your intention, you've flicked those switches, and you can now take flight. And bearing in mind, those switches will have improved your blood flow. If you've done a bit of breath work, they would have, and the movement, they would have improved the balance between O2 and CO2, as well as improved the tolerance of your of higher levels of CO2. We're going to come to this later on in the course and the benefits of breath work. You will have thought positively about events that are going to come up through the day. Again, working on your psychological health. And you would know that by doing these practices that you can go back to at any point in the day, they help to slow down the prefrontal cortex, this transient hypofrontality that you can experience by doing these practices allow you a window of opportunity to think rationally, to make the right decisions. So there's a blimmin' good reason to do these practices and to build them into your life. If you know that by doing these, this shuts the hell up, then you can have moments when you can make the right choice. You can have rational thought. You can think positively. And then throughout the day, you run in-flight checks. If you think about it, the pilot is constantly throughout the flight saying, yeah, let's just check our fuel gauge. Let's check there's enough oxygen in the plane for our passengers, all those sorts of things. That's what you're doing with these practices. You're running in-flight checks to make sure you can reach your destination in the right fashion, having achieved what you wanted to achieve and knowing that you can now enter a good sleep state. Thank you for watching.